George Clooney told 60 Minutes, look, I'm 63 years old. I'm not trying to compete with 25-year-old leading men. That's not my job. I'm not doing romantic films anymore.
Who was asking George Clooney to do a romantic film? Was
I
somebody
mean,
asking
probably a
him?
lot of people.
He
Remember that
probably
was
was.
that was a big genre for him
It
and a
was.
big genre period. Um,
I guess he doesn't want to be
there's
like.
more. I don't know if you want me to read more.
I mean, I get the gist, unless you feel like there's something important.
No, that was it. Oh,
I
he's
mean,
about to be on Broadway
oh, okay.
with
I
the
kind
upcoming play adaptation of his 2005 movie Good Night and Good Luck.
of
It
okay.
opens April 3rd.
Hmm.
There isn't a single actor alive that wouldn't have loved to have, been on Broadway. So that's the fun of it. It's his first time on Broadway.
Well, good for him. I mean, that's if that was a goal of his, and he's able to realize that goal, then that's amazing. I though I don't know. I guess George Clooney is not someone that I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of current day romantic comedies anyway.
Hmm.
But what do I know?
Well,
Um,
we've seen comedies where the older person was the main character. Um,
yeah,
so
that's
he
what
would
I'm
fit
talking
one of
about.
those really well. Now,
Right. Like
if
it's
it's the
complicated or the big wedding. Those are a couple that were fairly recent.
Mhm.
Recent with Alec Baldwin. I forget who was in the other one, but yeah.
Yeah, so he could easily play one of those.
Hmm.
But also, I think he's a little confused because there's no romantic movies anymore, especially not romantic comedies.
Yeah, there's
Rom-coms
no.
are rom-coms are over.
No, there's like romantic horror now,
Yeah, I don't see George Clooney being in the romantic horror.
which is fine. I don't really want to see George Clooney in that either. I guess I'm just kind of like, well, one, as someone who appreciates a good romantic comedy, don't like. I don't care that George Clooney doesn't want to be in them. Um, he wouldn't be the guy that I would be looking for today. I feel like that ship sailed a long time ago. So asking him to do that today seems a little odd to me. I do agree with you though that I don't think that romantic comedies should discourage older actors because
Right.
we've seen it done. And in fact, I think it's even more interesting when the actors are a little bit older because
Mhm.
there's there's more diversity in the subject lines.
Right.
Um,
It's not just fresh on the brand new job and you know, I fell in love with my coworker.
yeah, or I bumped into a guy at the grocery store and like we've been together ever since, and then something bad happens and we break up, and then by the end of the film, we're back together.
Right.
It's, you
Yeah, but
know,
this could totally be like one of those older focal point movies. He could totally play a older. He could play a 63-year-old who,
right,
my
right,
daughter been trying to get me on the dating scene and it didn't work. But actually, I
right.
fell in love with her professor.
Or like it's complicated, and maybe this is just like the kid in me that loved it's complicated because it was the divorced parents like fooling around behind everybody's back.
Right.
Um, things like that, or just like, oh, this kind of second act sort of
Yeah.
concept where maybe their original story is one thing, but now they're living a different life, or they've moved to another place, their kids are grown, whatever the case may be. I think
Right.
those stories are sometimes more interesting than the average
Right.
romantic comedy.
Yeah. And
So,
there's also a resurgence right now of,
mhm,
or maybe not even a resurgence is not the right word, but there is light being shown on older dating right now.
yeah.
So it actually would fit perfect. So I don't know why he's mentioning 25-year-old leading men because he could totally do an older movie and he wouldn't be competing with anybody.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Even There's another movie that keeps coming to mind, Because I Said So, which was largely about one of the sisters in the film, but it's also about the very much about their mother, Diane
Mhm.
Keaton's character, and she ends up finding love too. I just feel
There you
like
go.
it's so easy to. I feel like the industry tries to make it seem like being older is not interesting, and that's simply not true.
Yeah, I agree.